Okay, let's get it out of the way. To be honest, this video is supposed to be starting with an epic intro about phones.
Haven't kept up with the booming industry of cellular radio telephones. Scenes like this are becoming commonplace in U.S. cities where cellular is available today. This revolution in communications could make it possible for more and more people to have a phone.
Then I was going to show you some clips from my experience going without a phone for 30 days. I'm trying to challenge myself to film more outdoors. Wait, was I filming? I wasn't recording for this whole time? I wasn't recording! Damn, okay, we're in the middle of this thing. Kinda stuck. Oh!
New to Seattle. Fucking immigrants. What?
And then I was going to share some insights, some research about habits, about addiction, and why I did that and what I learned. The whole idea of not accessing my phone was to make it more difficult to distract myself. And I realized that, wow, I was really good at distracting myself. Alright, so what do you do when you're bored and you don't have your phone? You just sit down and work. And I know that through research, they prove that identity change is more lasting than just forcing yourself to do certain behaviors. You don't have anything else to do. And you're quarantined, so. Because when you identify with something that is different, now you're willing to do the behaviors that are associated with this identity. When you have an easy alternative to the hard work that you have to do in order to grow, you just pick the easy alternative and you waste a bunch of time. You know, this doesn't give you any resistance. You hold your phone without even thinking. But if you are instead deciding to read a book versus hold a phone, reading a book seems more enjoyable, and it doesn't give you this amount of dopamine that you're used to get from your phone easier. You're just scrolling. And if we agree that phone addiction is real, the way addiction works is it will not go away in 30 days. 1, 2, 3. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Alright, so 30 days ago I decided to start the challenge of letting go of my phone and switching it off. And today is the 31 today. But I never actually finished this video. And this is why I'm making this one. Because it's not the first video that I haven't finished. To be honest, I have been filming so much and not pulling the trigger and uploading a video or finishing it. And in reality, the problem is actually bigger than YouTube. YouTube is not the only thing that I don't follow through with in life. I would start reading a book, and in the middle of it, I would buy another one, and I would start the other one. And I would keep doing this until I am reading 7 books at the same time. Seemingly, I'm reading 7 books, but in reality, I'm not reading anything. And it would have been much better for my learning to just stick with one book until the end, and then start another one, and learn from that one afterwards. But I usually spread myself too thin across multiple domains at the same time, with my personal projects, with online courses, with anything that I'm trying to learn. I find myself doing too many things at the same time and not progressing in any of them long enough. And the worst part of all of this is these things never leave my head. There are always open loops in my head. I didn't finish this video. I didn't finish this book. Oh, I said that I'm going to start learning the guitar, but I actually didn't learn the guitar. And I would have these open loops consuming space and capacity of my brain. And it sucks. It really sucks. And I think the problem is when the pressure is on, like let's say you're excited, starting something new, and then it gets a little bit boring or tiring or anything gets a little bit challenging in the middle. And then instead of sticking with the challenge and sticking with the resistance, it's much easier to go start something else that doesn't have this resistance. It's a very vicious cycle. And I know that I'm not the only one. I'm pretty sure that there are many people watching this in my boat starting things, never finishing them. And we can pretty much all agree that it makes life in the end pretty unfulfilling. And this feeling of mediocrity and feeling like you're not progressing in anything prevails in your life. And I think the tricky thing is to realize that not everything is instantaneous. Yeah, I know that. You upload a picture on Facebook or Instagram and you're getting these likes instantaneously. And finishing a book is much harder than finishing an episode on Netflix. So there is a graph that pretty much explains what we go through when we start something new. At first, we have a big amount of excitement, and if what we're learning or doing is not too difficult, we get this beginner's luck, some level of improvement that happens quickly. So after this excitement wears off because things are getting harder, this is when we feel like we want to jump ships and try something different, something new, so we can get the high of the new beginning again. And if you stick with it long enough, you will start seeing the improvements. But usually, I and you probably, we don't stick long enough to see anything until fruition. So you might be asking, what is the solution? And it's pretty simple. I have 2 rules for you, for myself too. And I think if we implement them, they are going to solve the problem. The first rule is always be closing. And I heard this one from Casey Neistat. When you start something, make sure that you finish it.
Someone who starts something and doesn't finish something, that is a loser. Someone who starts something and always finishes it, that is a closer.
And if you have some open loops, start closing them.
A always B, B, C closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
And the second rule is do not start something unless you have finished what you have started before that thing, until a determined goal that you have set for yourself. So for instance, if I start learning the guitar, and then in the middle of learning the guitar, I decide, oh, the piano is actually a good idea. Instead of ditching the guitar and learning how to play the piano, and not actually learning any of them, because you probably are gonna suck at both, you will stick with what you started until a desired goal is achieved. And I know that this is easier said than done, but it has to be done. You have to pull the trigger. I told myself that I have 30 minutes to film this video and 1 hour to edit. And if I don't finish, then I just have to stop and This is the timer. So yeah, I think you get the point. That's a little bit too red. It's a little bit too red. I know that I'm flexing the new lights that I got, but they're really cool. Look at that. Look at that. That. Which one is your favorite? I can't really tell. This one is greenish. Nah. Let's stick with that. I like that.